Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your hats because what's buzzing around the league right now is nothing short of explosive. Rumors are swirling. Whispers from league insiders suggest that the Seattle Seahawks are in serious talks to acquire Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts. Yep, you heard that right. The Seahawks, sitting pretty at 7-4 and with around $18 million in cap space, are looking to make a bold move to bolster their backfield. And the Colts, struggling through a rebuild and sitting at 4-7 with a defense that's leaking an average of 25.8 points per game, might be willing to part ways with their star running back in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2027 draft. The NFL rumor mill is ablaze with talk of Taylor heading west, and it's easy to see why. This is one of the most dynamic backs in the league right now. In 2024, Taylor has been on fire with 206 rushing yards and 46 touchdowns over his career, averaging 4.7 yards per carry. He's been an absolute force when healthy, posting a PFF grade of 89.6 this season. And even with a minor setback, a Week 3 ankle injury that limited him for 2 games, he still managed to rack up 185 carries for 912 yards and 7 touchdowns in just 11 games. His explosiveness and ability to break tackles are game changers, and for the Seahawks, adding him would mean transforming their entire offensive outlook. Now, let's talk about the reasons behind this potential blockbuster. The Colts, obviously, are in a rebuild mode. After firing Shane Steichen and moving away from Anthony Richardson, who's still developing, they're looking to get as many draft assets as possible to rebuild their roster. Their offensive line has been a concern, allowing 32 sacks so far, and their rushing defense is giving up an average of 132 yards per game. They're also in a tricky spot cap-wise, needing to free up some money, and trading Taylor could be part of that strategy. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are looking to take that next step, and bolstering their backfield with a player like Taylor could elevate their offense from good to elite. Imagine the impact. With Taylor now in Seattle, the Seahawks could unleash a two-headed monster in the backfield alongside Kenneth Walker III, creating a duo that defenses simply cannot handle. We're talking about over 2.0 rushing yards combined, which would be a huge boost to their offensive efficiency. Right now, Seattle ranks around 23rd in rushing yards per game, but with Taylor's addition, that number would skyrocket. Plus, the Seahawks could see their offensive points per game jump from around 23.4 to near 28, making their offense much more explosive and balanced. It's not just about rushing yards. Taylor would also open up play-action opportunities, especially with Geno Smith under center. With a strong running game, Geno could thrive in those play-action passes, increasing their success rate and reducing turnovers. Let's not forget the impact on third-down conversions. Currently, Seattle converts about 40% of their third downs, but with Taylor's ability to churn out tough yards and force defenses to respect the run, that number could climb to nearly 48%. That's a massive difference in maintaining drives and controlling the clock. And speaking of toughness, Taylor is a master at YAC, yards after contact, which would further bolster the Seahawks' ability to stay ahead of the chains and extend drives, especially against tough front sevens like the San Francisco 49ers' formidable defense. On the defensive side, the Seahawks would benefit tremendously. With a stronger, more balanced defense, their defense can play more aggressively, knowing they're not always chasing points or trying to catch up. Plus, their offense's increased efficiency would help keep their defense fresh and on the field less often. The Seahawks' defense has been solid, allowing about 120 rushing yards per game, but with a dominant ground game led by Taylor, they could take more risks and generate turnovers. The potential for a high-powered offense to dominate time of possession and wear down opponents is very real. Now, looking at the bigger picture, a move like this could have ripple effects across the NFC West. The 49ers, for example, are known for their run-heavy offense and stout defense. If Seattle manages to secure Taylor and improve their rushing attack, it could shift the balance of power in the division. The Rams, still competitive and dangerous, might find themselves facing a more well-rounded Seahawks team that's tougher to defend. The Cardinals, meanwhile, are in a rebuilding phase, so this kind of upgrade could accelerate the Seahawks' push toward contending again, especially if they can stack their roster with top-tier talent. And from a playoff perspective, this kind of acquisition could be the difference maker. The Seahawks are currently in the hunt, and adding a player of Taylor's caliber would give them a serious edge in their quest for a deep postseason run. Historically, teams with a strong ground game and a versatile quarterback have always been favorites in the playoffs. Think about the Chiefs with Pacheco in 2025 or even the Giants with Saquon Barkley in 2024. A dominant running back can be the ultimate X factor. If Seattle lands Taylor, their Super Bowl odds would definitely improve. Currently, they sit around plus 2,500, but with this move, some betting sites could see their odds drop to plus 1,200 or even better, especially if they start rolling in the second half of the season. Now, I want to highlight that this is not just about adding a star player. It's about changing the entire dynamic of the Seahawks offense and potentially their identity. Pete Carroll has always emphasized a strong running game and disciplined defense. Bringing in Taylor would be a statement that Seattle is all in for a playoff push and beyond. It's about building a team that's tough, physical, and capable of imposing their will on opponents. Remember, the Seahawks have a passionate fan base that's hungry for another Super Bowl appearance. With players like Metcalf and Lockett, complemented by an elite running back, they could finally unlock that next level. Of course, there are questions. Will the Colts be willing to trade Taylor at this point? Will Seattle have to give up too much in draft capital? The NFL is full of surprises, and nothing is guaranteed until it's official. But if the rumors turn into reality, this could mark a new chapter for the Seahawks, one where they become even more dangerous and unpredictable. The NFC West is already one of the toughest divisions in football, but a move like this could shift the power balance and set the Seahawks up as the team to beat for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, fans should keep a close eye on the coming weeks. If this trade happens, it will reshape the Seahawks' strategy for the remainder of the season. They're already a formidable team, but with Jonathan Taylor, they could become a true powerhouse, capable of taking down any team in the league. The NFC playoff picture could look very different come January, and Seattle's chances of making a deep run will be significantly enhanced. This is exactly the kind of move that could propel them back into Super Bowl contention, echoing the great ground game legacies of Seahawks teams past, but with a fresh, modern twist. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Are you excited about the idea of Taylor in the backfield? Do you think it's enough to push Seattle over the edge and finally bring that elusive Lombardi trophy back to Lumen Field? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. Until then, keep cheering, keep believing, and let's go Seahawks.